Hi, my name is Van, and you're listening to my daddy's podcast, The Morgan You Know.
Love the show, and you should check out my buddy Rod Morgan's pod, The Morgan You Know, as I'm confident he's primed to make some waves on the scene.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Morgan You Know podcast. I am your host, Rod Morgan. This podcast is expertly produced by Jimmy Jam Riska, and I am going to be joined by my co-host, the Mrs. Morgan You Know, here very shortly. And we are here to celebrate something that the Mrs. Morgan You Know is doing for the 5th straight year. Here at the Morgan You Know Podcast Network, we celebrate and loathe a variety of things. One of our most well-known celebrations occurs at Christmas when we annually host a themed episode and ask many of our cast of characters to name their favorite Christmas gift, song, tradition, etc. Those are all available in this particular feed. If you need a little bit more holiday nostalgia, look back on those. But this year, we have decided to incorporate both our love of Christmas with the loathing involved in another one of our favorite traditions, Festivus. As I mentioned, the last several years, the Mrs. Morgan You Know has participated in Festivus by airing her grievances in her My Ambitions as a Writer blog. To honor her 5th year of sharing these grievances, we have asked our friends and contributors to add their own. In this special episode, I got a lot of problems with you people. That's what we're calling it. We're airing the grievances. We got a lot of problems with a lot of things. Now, for those of you who may not already know, Festivus is a secular, alternative holiday made famous by Seinfeld and the genius of Frank Costanza. Our annual celebration does not include feats of strength or scolding of our loved ones by telling them how much they've disappointed us this year. Rather, our grievances are more about things, situations, and everyday gripes we're sure our listeners will find relatable. So sit back, enjoy, and be sure to share the podcast, Kate's blogs, and your own grievances with us and friends and loved ones on this holiday season. And since we're airing grievances, please note that all swearing is both allowed and welcome, and you should keep this in mind in case little ears might be listening. As I mentioned, my co-host for this podcast is the lovely Mrs. Morgan You Know, and she is here to lead us off with her grievance. As we mentioned, no feats of strength, but we do have the aluminum pole here in the corner. So, Mrs. Morgan You Know, let us know your grievance.
Okay, so my number one grievance of 2022 is quite simply leaving the house. So I am a very proud homebody, and it shouldn't be any surprise that I do not like to go out very often. But when I do, when I get excited to actually go somewhere, do something, or be involved in anything, I am always disappointed. Always. First, unless you're simply venturing out for a walk, leaving the house for any other reasons costs a minimum of $250 to say $400 or $500. Whether it's gas or a bite to eat, grocery shopping, a family outing, or a trip to Target for like 3 or 4 things, there is no way you're returning home without spending at least $263. Then there's the traffic and other human beings and lines and the heat. Shout out to Elaine. My God, the heat. It's always so hot everywhere I go, even in the dead of winter. And you know what? I'm never hot at home. I'm comfortable. And I'm not spending a dime unless I'm online shopping, which doesn't involve lines or other people either. Because other people are the absolute worst. They're fussy, often smelly, inconsiderate, pushy, and totally unaware there are other humans within their vicinity. How in God's name are strangers regularly and unapologetically completely oblivious to the many human bodies standing near them who are also trying to live their lives? That kind of self-absorption is both infuriating and admirable, because honestly, I hate you and I also desperately want to be you at the exact same time. Then there are the fucking shopping carts and the baskets and the space in which I am charged with navigating the items I am attempting to purchase. There's no room for me and my shit and you and your shit. And when you're ignoring me because your shit is more important, it's highly likely I'm gonna take my shit out on my kid on the way home. And speaking of family, how often do we want to venture out with the family for a holiday adventure only to head home completely and totally defeated? Still, we post bullshit pictures about how much fun we had, leaving out the parts about our kids doing the thing that we hate, and the strangers who got in our way, and the shitty cashiers, and the lines, and the price of hot chocolate or apple cider, which on any family adventure somehow costs $23 a cup. And we pay for it. We pay for that shit. So staying home is awesome, which is why I totally thrived during the pandemic. I miss those days. Oh, I miss them so, so much. Not so much the part where people were dying at alarming rates, but never having to leave the house was pure bliss. And so my grievance of 2022 is leaving the house.
Mrs. Morgan, first let me start by saying that is absolutely phenomenal. I, on some level, absolutely agree with your take of leaving the house is incredibly annoying, and would I choose to do it on more often than not? Probably no. But my question still exists here, okay? As the person charged with being with you in public scenarios as we move forward in our life, do you look at the scenario that will make you happy is more things are provided to you at home, or you have to somehow suck it up and deal with people out in the public space?
No, like everything that happens to a woman at every part in her life, I have to suck it up and deal with it in a public space. But I don't want to. I am almost 41 years old, and I feel like I have earned the part in my life where I get to be a curmudgeon to a certain extent and say, fuck this shit. I don't want to change. Yet I will, or I will endure, right? I will just continue to endure, because while so many of the things I want can be shipped to me straight to my home, not everything. I mean, like, even I still have to go to work, even though I should note that for 2 years I worked from home at my job during the pandemic and still fought for and won the right to work from home 1 to 2 days a week in my current job. Like, literally fought for that more than I fought for a pay raise this past year. But I can't have it all. I'm going to have to leave the house, and I'm just going to have to deal with it, which is why it's a grievance and something I'm just going to have to go through every single day.
So basically, in summation here, we are dealing with, I do not want to leave the house, but I understand that I'm going to have to leave the house. And when I leave the house, I want all of you people to understand I have a lot of problems with you. That's basically where we're supposed to land here.
Oh, I have a lot of problems with you people. And you know what? You're not going to hear about it in person because I'm a classy lady, but you will hear about it on this podcast and in my blog.
There we go. The Mrs. Morgan starts us out in style with her grievance here on the Festivus episode on the Morgan podcast 2022. We will have an assorted array of characters that you know and love from all of their appearances here on the Morgan podcast network, including myself, Rod Morgan, but I'll come at you right at the end. Right now, we're going to give you somebody else's grievance on the other side.
Let's do it then.
All right.
Festivus is back. I'll get the pole out of the crawl's face.
We are here in the Morgan studios. The Festivus pole is shining in the corner, and we welcome in Matt Roberts. Mr. Roberts, the feats of strength are over. It is now time to air your grievances.
Rod, it's been a trying year. I like the finer things in life. Most of you know this. My biggest grievance this year would have to be these punk little shits that make these bots that go in and get all the shoes and concert tickets I could ever want. I'm sick and fucking tired of getting on an app to try to get a pair of shoes that are sold out in half a second, or a poster from a band I like in half a second, or a concert ticket in 12 seconds when I waited in line for 2 hours. And I'm not referring to Taylor Swift in this instance. I'm referring to Tyler Childers. It's an outrage. I'm tired of having to pay 5 times what I would normally pay to go see someone I like, to wear a pair of shoes I want, or to put a poster on my wall. If we don't figure out some way to get this stuff into the people that actually like it and stop these little bots from scooping everything up, I'm going to lose my shit.
Wow. All right. I know of this problem, but I think I should defer to the Mrs. Morgan here because she buys the concert tickets, so she's had to deal with this more than I have.
This has been a serious problem for a long time. Very serious among lots of deadheads, and many of whom are actually going, thank Christ for what happened with Taylor Swift, because I think we might see a few changes in the buying process. But I am totally with you on the bot issue and having to wait, you're in a queue, and then you're in a waiting room, and then all these bots swoop in and get up all the tickets and then jack up the ticket prices. This is where I'm familiar. Not so much with the shoe piece. I didn't know that was a thing with shoes.
It's the same thing. It's like, if you get on the sneakers app and you try to get in these draws or whatever, it's the same thing. You can't do it fast enough as one person. The thing that bothered me is, like I said, I tried to get Tyler Childers tickets, and I signed up for an artist pre-sale. You get on there, there's 7,000 people in line. The place doesn't even fit 5,000 people. It's like dumb like that. And then you get the next one, they're gone. These tickets were going for $40, $50. Here they are. And then the third day when actual sales go, because all these resale bots went out, the same tickets are $280.
Yep, that's exactly
ridiculous.
I
hate that.
Yep.
It really grinds my gears.
I know. That's what it was like for Dead tickets to Boston this summer too. They just kept going up and up and up, and it's insanity. And then you can't afford anything.
Okay, I only have one response here. I only have one retort. I've been sitting here for a second, and this while I feel pain in my heart for everyone who has suffered at the hands of these things, I'm reminded of only this: you cannot legislate evil, right? I mean, there's going to be nefarious actors and characters almost no matter what we do. So while I feel for you, Mr. Roberts, that you can't get the sneakers you want on the sneaker app and that the Tyler Childers tickets went up to a high price, I don't necessarily know that there's any kind of solution in sight. So I feel that this is a grievance that unfortunately may have to continue to be a grievance from year after year.
In-person sales only. 1 ticket per person, per ID, per matching card. Shut it down. In-person sales again. I don't trust it.
I know. I want to go back to the Ticketmaster kiosk in the mall.
Yes, I want to go to the back of LS Airs.
Yeah, exactly. Carson
Get some tickets to see Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters at Deer Creek.
See, we at least had Karma Music, right? Ours was at least Karma Music. It was a cool place to hang out and wait for tickets. So we had that benefit in Plymouth, where I remember having to do that, right, to get the Pearl Jam tickets to finally go see them with Ticketmaster and Dave Matthews and Horde Festival and so many other before. So, I mean, I understand that, but again, we don't use the bathroom in the woods anymore because we have advanced beyond that. You know what I mean? So I feel for you, Mr. Roberts, and I appreciate you for coming on and airing your grievances here, but that's just, I couldn't help but have to spit that out. You know me, I'm a bit of a wet blanket at times.
No, I haven't known you for 20 odd years by now. I've never figured this out.
But you know what? I'm leaving it in the hands of the Swifties. I feel like they might save us. I don't even listen to her music or know very much of it at all, but I'm leaving it to them because I feel like she has enough power that maybe we'll see some change through that avenue.
In Taylor we trust.
I know.
I believe the great Whitney Houston said it best when she said, "I believe the children are our future. Treat them well and let them lead the way." Mr. Roberts, I can't thank you enough for coming on and airing your grievances on this very special Festivus edition of the Morgan You Know Holiday Special that I'm proud to say you have been involved in every one that we have ever had, and we can't thank you enough, my friend. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for coming on.
Merry Christmas to you and yours and to everyone out there. Thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate this.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right, the Mrs. Morgan You Know and I are here. We have a long queue lined up. Apparently there are lots of problems with things going on out in the world these days. Mr. Evan Altman is here. The Festivus poll is in the corner and shined up, my friend. The floor is now yours.
Well, I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about. First of all, I would like to air some grievances with Waste Management. Right? They just bought Rays. There's one job my son has to do, and that's take out the trash. Well, he's got other jobs, but it's primarily when the trash overflows. I'm like, hey, what's your job around here? It's taking out the trash. So, like, one of the few days when he actually does it on time, I found out that our trash company had been purchased by Waste Management, and I got a call that night. Hey, we have purchased Rays. We're going to try to get to your trash. And like 5 days later, they finally got to it, which was awesome. And so the trash is sitting out there in the rain and whatever else. So that upset me because it made my son feel like, well, why do I have to do this? If they're not even going to come, the people who were being paid to do this aren't even going to come. Why do I have to do it? That's my first one. I'm going to go with at least one more, if that's okay. If we've got
No,
time.
that's okay. But just to real quick clarify here. So trash piling up for 5 days and getting wet and smelly is a thing you're against in the Altman household. Just to clarify here.
We are definitely against that.
All right. And now, did you have a problem with Waste Management coming in, and did you feel that Rays did such a good job that you kind of shed a tear for Rays being bought out, or were you basically like, I could care less who owns here. All I want someone to do is pick up the trash?
Yeah, like Rays was at least semi-local, right? I knew where they were based. Waste Management, I know sponsors a big golf tournament where everybody gets drunk on the 17th hole or whatever, which is cool. Like, I'm not against that. I think at the end of the day, as long as my trash gets picked up on time, I couldn't care less whose name is on the truck, right? Like, I went with Rays over. We actually have two companies that service our neighborhood, and you could choose between either of them. And I chose Rays because it was like $3 cheaper, right? Like on the recycling side of things or something. So I am an equal opportunity trash subscriber.
But really, it's the advocacy toward not picking up the trash that is being passed on to your child.
Right. You know how to
That's
take my money for the trash. You just don't know how to pick up the trash.
Yes.
I love that. All right, no, listen, that is so good, and I appreciate any time that we can be joined by the wit and wisdom of one Evan Altman. I will allow you one other grievance, my friend. The floor is yours.
So I feel obligated because outside of the holiday editions of the Morgan I am typically brought on to talk about the Cubs and Major League Baseball, and I would like to air some grievances with the fact that the Cubs said they were going to spend money, and thus far they have done nothing to meaningfully improve the team that I am supposed to write about. I'm supposed to go to Cubs convention here coming up in a few days. Well, I guess it's a month, but I want to go there and have fun meeting up with people that I don't get to see very often. Instead, I feel like it's just going to be a massive complaint session of a weekend, which they deserve, right? But it's like, I've loved you idiots for 43 years. All I'm asking is for you to love me back. You don't even need to love me back. Just like me. Just don't actively push me away. That's all. It's like I feel as though the Cubs, it's like parenting a teenager. Like, I'm just trying to love you and do my best. Can't you at least, give me a hug or take out the trash? Like, that's just a modicum of emotion. And not even that. Again, you can buy my love. Go spend on some free agents. That would make me feel like you cared about me in return. So I have some serious issues with what the Cubs are doing this winter, and I can only hope that by the time this airs, they will have done something to make me sound like a jerk.
I want to let you know that you actually terrified me during that, to think that Van, my son, who is not quite into what I would call the teenage years yet, if he brings upon me any of the pain the Chicago Cubs have brought upon me, my goodness, I am set up for some horrible times. I have so many things I could say about the Cubs, but I don't want to take up all the airspace here. Mrs. Morgan, your thoughts as you heard that grievance.
No, it is like the teenager, right? Like, and you're barely even getting a wink from the teenager, and you're not getting a wink from the Cubs either.
Yeah, so, I've been on this train for a long time, Mr. Altman, as you know. I have a serious problem with one person involved in the Chicago Cubs organization. I like to say I will forever love the Cubs, but I no longer can support Mr. Tom Ricketts. And now I have another reason to be mad at him, because he is actively hurting my guy, Evan Altman, and my favorite Cubs website, Cubs Insider. I'm disappointed to hear this.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they do not make all their decisions based on the whims of a blog and a blogger. Oddly enough, there's billions of other reasons apparently, including the net worth of Tom Ricketts and the club, that they choose to make those decisions. But hey, they're building a shiny new sports book right there, smacked onto the side of Wrigley Field, so that'll make up for everything.
And boy, if that doesn't say a history of Wrigley Field, a sports book, I don't know what does. So again, thanks, Tom Ricketts, for your lovely stewardship of the Chicago Cubs, a team that you claim to love so much that you've sat in the bleachers and proposed to your wife. But in the time you've owned this team, it seems to me that you care about one thing and one thing only, and that's the greenback dollar. Mr. Altman, it is the holiday season, so Merry Christmas to you. But I want to make a New Year's resolution, right now. We will have you on this podcast to talk about something other than baseball, my friend, because you are charming, and I enjoy your presence every time. And thank you for joining us on this Christmas Festivus special.
Hey, I am very happy to have been here yet again. I love switching up the format. I love talking about whatever you want to bring me on to talk about. So anytime you you hit me up, I will say yes.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas to you and yours, Mr. Altman, and we will talk again soon.
Thank you. Same to you.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right, we are back. The Mrs. Morgan, has unfortunately had to step away to tend to the Vanimal, who I just absolutely wore out in the feats of strength. I completely embarrassed him, and he's got some wounds that need to be healed up. So the Mrs. Morgan, is going to tend to him. But the Festivus pole is still shining in the corner, so I'm going to need somebody else to come in here and help me out with the grievances. Why not somebody that goes back to the very earliest days of these podcasts? He comes on anytime we were talking about music. He comes on anytime we just want a dry, intelligent wit. He's our friend down in Indianapolis. It's Matt Record. Matt, hello.
Rod, happy Festivus.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining us on this holiday special. You've been with us before when we've went more real Christmas and tugged at the heartstrings. We're not doing that this year, my friend, so I hope you've come ready.
I'm ready to fire away.
All right, what do you got for us? What problems do you have with these people these years?
I long for the retail of yore, Rod. We're understaffed out there. We're not paying the kids enough to staff the places. You think about your Krogers. You think about, for me, I went to Guitar Center. The last few times I've been to Guitar Center here in Indianapolis. And back in the day, I used to go to Guitar Center, and the complaint was, these guys are sharks. As soon as I walk through the door, they're all over me. Hey, you need any help? Like, 7 different people are asking me if I need help. Like, it's just overwhelming. Well, now they got like one person working at guitars and then one manager, and then there's nary an employee other than that to be found, and you cannot get help to save your life in a Guitar Center right now, Rod.
Oh, see, that's just sad because I'm with you. I would be intimidated to go into a place like that when I would just need some kind of like random accessory, or I wanted to get over like a music liner, but for some whatever reason, because I can never play an instrument, but I remember needing one for some reason sometime. And I went into Guitar Center and I was scared away because the guy's got a ponytail maybe. He knows what he's talking about with guitars. I do not. So now it's just a free for all in there, huh?
Yeah, and I can see that being intimidated by it. There's lots of different characters in there, and there's kids that are not very good shredding guitar, and people that are good, and just there's a cacophony of noise, and it's crazy. But I mean, if you just need an accessory, that's probably the easiest scenario you got. If you want to actually try to play a guitar, or like one that's up high, I mean, they got to get the ladder. It's like it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So I had to just be like, well, I guess and I didn't want to, but like, you got to like try to buy online or something,
So you couldn't even get anybody anywhere to pull down a guitar for you, and you couldn't do you couldn't even grab one that just happened to be sitting on the floor and do the "May I help you" riff. Like, that goes back to our days of Wayne's World.
I did do the "May I help you" riff, but I got like him to get the ladder for one guitar, but he was doing like 12 things. Like, there was everybody else wanted stuff from him too, and I had to be really patient and hang out for a long time to like try 2 guitars, and yeah, I tried the ones I could reach, but it's chaos in there. I mean, it's a free-for-all. It's like the Warriors.
So understaffed out there is definitely a thing. So I kind of feel like you've got a little more to this grievance maybe that we need to pull out, right? Because I don't feel like you're trying to blame Guitar Center wholly here. I think maybe there's more to this grievance.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just corporations don't want to pay a competing wage for people, and wages are being raised, and people are, like you look at Chick-fil-A or something, and they're fully staffed, and I think they make like $20 an hour or something. It's like,
Yeah, they get Sundays off, that's another benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like you take care of your employees, and you got a quality product, and then that reflects, and it makes the customers want to be there. So it's just like, it's pretty obvious when management's not putting the right people in place,
I think you're definitely onto something here, because you go out there in these streets these days, and I like that you said you long for the retail of yore, right? Like, you're working that holiday language in, even though we're absolutely just laying waste to America at its core right now. But what I think you're speaking to here is, we go out and we see what essentially we've grown up with, right? The retail structure, the norms, the ways we came about products, the ways we came about knowledge of things, right? All of those are out the window now. And you say to yourself, okay, if people can't work at the shops around the corner, and if people aren't going to work at the fast food restaurants that I want to go to, and people aren't going to work at the grocery store, like where are people going to work and how are we going to do things? So I think your grievance of saying not being willing to pay a wage is probably the grievance we need to land on, either not a fair wage or corporation greed, which certainly could be a story that frames out 2022, my friend. I think maybe that's our grievance.
Hey, yeah, I'm with you there. And just to throw in a last one that's just a psycho move is the people that are on the speakerphone in Kroger. Like, what are you doing? How does anyone think that that's an acceptable idea? And people do it just all day, every day.
I don't get that either, because I mean, I'm moved to that point in my life now with my hearing, and I guess doing podcasts all the time and having these cans on my ears and doing radio shows probably doesn't help me. But so I got the speaker up when I'm talking to somebody, but I'm certainly not doing it through a public establishment. And we got so many people with these AirPods. Well, I mean, why can't we just have those going and then you can just whisper to yourself? I mean, what are we doing? I'm with you. That doesn't make any sense.
It's one of the wildest moves ever. It baffles me every time I see it.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mr. Record, I appreciate you so much for carving out some time in this holiday season and coming on and airing out a grievance that I believe everybody is going to know a piece of. Like, they could be listening to this in their AirPods, who I just shouted down a second ago, shopping right now as we speak, or as we speak in the after Christmas sales, thinking about exactly what you just said there. So I think it's very prescient, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me, and always great to air the grievances, and thanks for the opportunity.
You betcha. And Merry Christmas to you and yours down there in Indianapolis, my friend, and a Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas to the Morgans, buddy.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
We welcome in another friend who we are happy to have join us as often as we can on these holiday specials. I think he's probably been on every episode of the holiday special that we have had. Him and I go back an awful long way, and when I decided we were going to put the Festivus poll up over here in the corner and we were going to have people on to air their grievances, nobody better I could think of than my guy Brett, who, I mean, Brett, would you say a good what? I mean, the whole run of Seinfeld, basically, like all we did was just throw those lines back and forth to each other, isn't it?
Pretty much, man. We've been going at this for decades.
Yeah, exactly. We still do it. Like every once in a while, out of nowhere, just a text message will come from you with the random Seinfeld line, or I'll send one back at you, and that's the only communication we need. We almost communicate in those lines. So I'm excited and ready. The floor is yours. Your grievance for 2022.
Well, my grievance for 2022 is basically the same grievance I've had for probably at least a decade, and it'll probably continue to be a grievance for another decade or so, because people are just, I like people, okay? I have a career, I got people, fans, people pay my bills, but the people out there that have to decorate their cars with antlers and Rudolph's nose, those are the people that I want to sit down with them and understand why they're doing this. Because it's unacceptable at this point. I mean, it's 2022. I get it. 1975, there was not much else to do, not much else, not many other ways to adorn your vehicle. You got that, VW Beetle that's just kind of there, and you're like, let me throw these antlers and a reindeer nose on there. That'll be funny. I'd like to find out who the first person was that did that and what country they came from. I'd like to find their ancestors, and I'd like to, have an intervention and see if we could jump in the quantum leap.
Okay, so let me ask, is this just antler related, or is this all, and I love the word that you used here, adornment, that is on any automobile that denotes a holiday? Is that what our grievance is with, or is it just antlers? Are you just mad about hitting a deer one time in a car yourself, or is this about all holiday decorations on cars?
It's mostly about the antlers and the reindeer nose. I've never actually hit a deer, but I saw one the other day. Not even kidding. I had Luke in the car with me, and the lady not only had I came up from behind, and she had like a hoof, hanging like a fake stuffed hoof.
It's like Goodfellas over here. She's got a hoof, and the hoof was in there.
That's like the ultimate addition to it all. To top it all off, it's the hoof. Like instead of the cherry on top, it's the hoof on the coming out of the trunk. I'm like, I almost ran her off the road with my daughter in the car. God bless my meditation practice.
Oh man, serenity now indeed. Serenity now indeed on that one. Listen, you threw me for a loop here with the build up that you had there. I thought you were gonna bring. I was like, what in the world are we about to get here? And then antlers and reindeer noses was not where I thought we were going. But so if I told you that I was in Kohl's the other day and on the clearance rack I saw that they had one of those and I at least picked it up to see how much money it was, would you think less of me?
No, I would. We'd have to have an off-air talk if you actually purchased it.
I did not.
Okay. And if you did, I just want to know why.
No, here's what I would adorn I have a truck now, right? I mean, again, you've known me for too long. It's weird to you that I have a truck, but I just felt that I needed a truck finally at one point in my life. So I've had this truck for a couple of years, and I got those like I can't even tell you what they're called, but they're like runners on the top, right? I have considered getting one of those like battery powered small strands of lights and putting those up above there and having Christmas lights on top of my car as I'm rolling through December. I've considered doing that. Am I passable under the guise of this grievance that you have just dropped upon us?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I can dispute the lights or be okay with the lights. I'd have to see them, if they're blinking, if they're...
I also haven't done them yet, but I have to take in another factor. Thank you very much, Brett. Now I have to take in another factor to think, will Brett think lesser of me if I do this? So now that just adds another part to the equation.
Right. Well, you're a friend, a long-term friend. I don't know what you could do to really offend me to the point where we'd stop talking, but this is heading down that road, I'll be honest with you.
Listen, I appreciate a dedication to a take that much. You know me well enough to know that I do. If you want to stick to your take that much, I absolutely appreciate it. So, Brett, I'll tell you what, we did it. We aired a grievance. I did not think that I would get antlers and a reindeer nose out of you for that grievance, but I'm pretty happy about it because I enjoyed myself for it. Did you enjoy yourself?
I enjoyed myself. I just keep those antlers and the reindeer noses away from me, please. And I love holidays. I love Christmas. I love Christmas music and the spirit, but come on, we can do better.
All right. Well, then, and to that end, Merry Christmas to you and yours, my friend. Hopefully the holidays find you well, and we will have you on again here real soon to chop up a couple of cool music ideas I think we have cooking up in the laboratory over here.
All right, brother. Good to hear from you, man.
All right. Merry Christmas, Brett.
Merry Christmas.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Our good friend Pete Osterman is joining us. It's been a while since we've heard from the RCP. I have just returned from a local retail establishment where I had to rain blows down upon someone's head to fight for the last toy to bring home for the Vanimal. While I was gone, Kate shined up the pole. It's over here in the corner. That means it's time for one thing and one thing only, airing some grievances. Pete, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I got a lot of problems with you people, and it's time you hear about it. Here's my Festivus grievance. My grievance is for all of you last takers out there. I'm talking about taking the last cookie, the last chicken wing, whatever it is. Taking the last of something. It's the most repulsive personality that is displayed at any holiday party. I mean, who says I'm too important to think about anybody else at this party? It's time I get what I want. Plus, the last cookie, the last treat, the last chip, the last deviled egg, whatever it is, it's a sign to everyone at the party that we need to chill out for a bit, right? I mean, whatever was on this plate, it used to be delicious. We enjoyed it. Maybe we just got to calm down, right? Not the last taker. Oh, no. They're that rat that just keeps hitting one more button, right? One more treat. Now, there are plenty of ways that you can show gratitude to the chef, but snatching the last of something isn't it. Now, do you guys have like the aunt or the grandma that like lifts the plate up? Here, take the last cookie. Come on, take it. Somebody take it. That's not going to be me. 100% of the time. I'd rather see that thing thrown in the trash than seeing it going down somebody's throat.
So that was going to be my question to you then. So you would rather see that there's one left of everything. You don't believe in that we need to clean out an entire plate.
Look at the smorgasbord of food and treats that's laid out at any holiday party. You're telling me that like we have to clean the plates here? I mean, it's it's ridiculous. I guess for me it's just the personality to say, yep, I'm the finisher, right? For everybody here, I get to choose when we're done with this, right? Now, think of this like at a buffet. Have you been to like a holiday buffet with like the mashed potatoes and stuffing and all that stuff?
Absolutely.
Who wants to be the last taker at a buffet? I mean, of all like the 100 people that have gone through this line, they didn't want that morsel that you're scraping off the side, right?
I would argue, though, that I think that you're being a little bit prideful and, well, it's not going to be me and I'd rather see it. And so I am better than you because I won't take the last of any of these. Because for me, when it comes to deviled eggs, you're goddamn right I'm taking the last deviled egg. Like, if there is one final deviled egg, like, it's going to be me or it's going to be somebody else. And I would much rather be that person. Now, I don't care about sweets, so I will leave the cakes and cookies and all of those treats, and I don't necessarily care about the chicken wings, but deviled eggs, I will argue over. I will fight for those. So I understand the last taker on those.
All right, let me ask you this. I have another thought here real quick, if you wouldn't mind. Can we set up a protocol here today on the Morgan You Know podcast, Festivus Christmas Spectacular? Can we set up a protocol where if I walk up and I see the final deviled egg and I've got 6, 7, 8 people in my earshot and I'm like, hey, anybody need a deviled egg?
Oh, who's
if everybody
speaking up?
turns it down, am I allowed to take it then?
No, you don't ask. You just take the deviled egg. Like when I would say
And that's
yes,
yes.
when it comes to other things. If it's the last piece of pie or the last cookie, you know, and you can see that they're really going like gangbusters and people are enjoying them, yes. But everybody loves deviled eggs. So there is not going to be one person in a line of 7 behind you that's not like, no, I would really like that. And then you're setting yourself up to not get the last deviled egg. You eat that egg.
Oh, no, that is part of it. There's always an announcement for the last deviled egg.
That's what
I am taking it. I've had 2 or 3 of these already, but it's like, come on.
So now it also seems to me here that you maybe have a bit of a disagreement with sneakiness here, right? It seems to me also the part that really chaps you the most about this is the sneakiness of someone just kind of thinking they're being smooth and grabbing it before you can. Am I onto something here?
Yeah, no, there is like, I do think last takers have like this narcissistic, like insidious mindset, right? There's more, it's a Larry David type. There's more going on in their head at that party than when anybody else is trying to, they're just looking for the minutia of how they could just wring everything they can out of this party. That's the last taker. I mean,
well, or is it more insidious to actually ask the group of holiday gatherers, like, well, there's just this one left, can I have it? And then unless it's the deviled egg, everybody's like, no, you can have it, because then they look like assholes if they're like, I really wanted that last chicken wing, or I really wanted that last piece of pie, and so the last taker asking for it almost seems worse to me.
No, and here's the thing, I will never ask for the last piece. I will never take it. I don't care. I could be terminally ill, and it's my anniversary. Like, I'll have the last piece of cake. I'll be like, nope, I've had my fill.
I'll get it tomorrow.
And some of you might say, okay, well, maybe what about Solomon's wisdom, right? Let's take the last cookie and let's break it in half. We'll share it. No, you've just created 2 last takers, right?
I like that.
I'm just, here, try it. Next holiday party you go to, I want you to be the last taker. Don't eat anything except for the last portion of something, and see how horrible it makes you feel. Every bottle of wine that gets poured, reach your glass out and take the last drop of every bottle. People will notice.
Oh, that's so good. And you know what, though? I hate the splitting of anything. I hate the splitting of cookies. I hate the splitting of donuts. And a half a donut being left in the box in a break room. It drives me crazy.
Oh,
to eat the
it's
whole
terrible.
Donut.
I'd throw it away. I'd rather see it laying in the trash can.
Yeah.
No, I had a buddy in college. He carried 2 packs of smokes with him. In his right pocket, he had 1 cigarette he would keep in it. And in the other one, it was a partially full one. And that's what he would pull from. If anybody said, hey, man, can I bum a cigarette? He'd pull out the pocket with the right pocket with 1 cigarette and be like, I got 1 left. Who is that person's like, yep, I need that right there.
And your friend who had that cigarette trick is now a United States Senator. That man is smart.
But, I mean, what a red flag if someone was like, yep, give me that cigarette. I need that tonight.
You look at that person like they were instantly a psychopath if they wanted your last cigarette.
That's a really good example. Now I am understanding the psychology of the last taker.
Yeah. No, if I see you last taken at a party, I will spend the rest of the night detailing all the ways that you've disappointed me this year.
Nice. You know what
Because
we just did here?
that's the true meaning of Festivus.
That's what Thank you, Pete. You brought it right back there. We just created our own Seinfeld episode right here with the last taker. It's almost like the double dip when George goes to the wake and the funeral. We created our own here in honor of Festivus. And Pete, I am so happy we were able to get you back on the holiday special. I know you're quite busy with the athletics department down there, but anytime we can get you on the podcast, my friend, we are much better for it. So thank you, and Merry Christmas to you.
Now, Merry Christmas to the whole Morgan Nation. I really appreciate everything, and I hope you guys the best in the new year.
All righty, we will be back with someone else's grievance on the other side here. Stay tuned.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
We are here with our good friend, Mr. Jeff Van Vactor, joining us down in Indianapolis. We are still here in the Morgan studios. The Festivus poll is in the corner and still shining, so that means we have time to hear some more grievances, and we are excited to hear one from our friend, Mr. Van Vactor. The floor is yours.
Well, happy holidays, happy Festivus to the Morgan Nation. Yeah, no, so as I pondered this holiday season about the grievances that I had either from this past year or even in years past, the thing that keeps on coming to my mind is it's Elf on the Shelf. And for those parents that are rocking the nation out there, you've got to know, it comes in and day one, you come in with the best intentions, and it's like you got all this creativity flowing. Then day 2, 3, 4, etc. comes in. Man, by the time you get through the Christmas season, you are literally phoning it in just so you remember. And in years past, believe me, there's been definitely some hiccup years where, yeah, the elf has been stationary. It's not only been chilling at the same spot, night 1 or night 2 or night 3, but there's been some consistent things. And hey, the weekends happen. You get into some holiday parties here and there, and maybe if the drinks are flowing, you kind of forget about that damn thing that's up on the shelf or tucked away. So to the creator, hey, I love capitalism. I love what you did, because the millionaire that she or he has become is very very profound, because I'm like, hey, I missed the mark with creating that. But yeah, as we move through this holiday season, I definitely have to add that at top of my list for the grievances of 2022.
All right, so somehow we missed the Elf on the Shelf phenomenon. So when does the elf make his first appearance? When are you first expected to start allowing him to sit upon your shelf, and when does he vacate said Van Vactor household to go home to report to the North Pole?
So the RD, that is a great question. So in the Van Vactor household, it kind of ebbs and flows, and right now, just from a makeup standpoint, I've got 2 girls, 1 boy, and my son still, I think, believes-ish. I think he, is like in the camp that if I stop believing in Santa, I'm not going to get any gifts. So I think he's still kind of milking that for what it's worth. But no, we do it around the Thanksgiving period of time. So maybe day after Thanksgiving, we try to add a little bit of excitement to it. And so and we have plural, we have 2, so I mean that makes it even more fun. So we have 2 elves, they ride in, and then at Christmas Eve, that's when they get to jump on the sleigh with Santa and hightail it out of town. So it's been somewhat fun, kind of from parents and coming up with different storylines and things like that. So it's been enjoyable. Yeah, it's definitely a check it at the door kind of thing. And then sporadically throughout the year, if the kids are acting like jerks or anything like that, we'll bring it into consideration. It was like, hey man, the elves are definitely going to be watching you. So it is a little deceitful, but hey, it kind of helps out, when it comes down to it. So I was going to ask if the Vanimal ever was partaking in this. And so if you miss the train, don't worry. There's not going to be any therapy sessions in the near future for Van. But
no, and I can tell you why we've never done Elf on the Shelf, because I remember thinking about it when he was like kindergarten, first grade-ish, and then like I just kind of didn't. And then second grade, they had one in his classroom, and he came home one day, saying essentially, this elf is bullshit. Like, we have one in our classroom, and like he just gets on my nerves because Van is a crotchety old man at heart, and so like he just shot it down because it existed in his classroom. I'm like, well, it got us out of this. But I also do believe that a healthy amount of deceit in parenting is necessary. So I don't really have a problem with that piece of it, but I am glad that he saved me the exhaustion of having to think of new places to place the elf and having to use him during, and having one more thing to think about between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Do these elves have names?
Yeah. So this is creative. So it was Sparkle initially, and then Sparky. And so what happened is, and they, and granted, they've come a long way. So I applaud the progressiveness that is the Elf on the Shelf empire, because initially it was like a white little dude. It was like just a boy elf, and then but then they started introducing like dresses and things. So you dress up the same elf, but you make it a girl. And so we're like, oh yeah, it's Sparkle and Sparky. And then boom, the year after that, they actually started introducing some females into the mix. And so we picked one of those up. And then, the kids were young enough where it's just like, that looks different than Sparky from last year. And it's like, well, hey, you never know. Because that's how we had to play it off. It's like, well, Sparkle went back to the North Pole, and then Sparky came back this time. But so now we have two out. So, but yeah, so that's been, but that's the thing. I mean, yes, you're literally living with a 55-year-old man at your house. So I'm surprised from the analytical nature of it. I mean, literally, shit, we didn't even cut off the tags in the back. So it's like still like, there's still the tags from like their thing. And it's just like, so it's just like, whatever. So, but, like tonight I've got to like get up on a ladder again and get it down from like this high place in our entryway. And now it's like, okay, we're coming down to the, at least we're coming down to the end of the line right now, where they're going to be jumping on the sleigh, and then be done at least for another 11 months before we have to get back into it.
You got to give it up to those folks at the North Pole, man. They are efficient. I can't believe I didn't assume that he would just get picked up on Christmas Eve when Santa rolled through. I can't believe I didn't just assume that. That's great stuff by the elves there.
Oh yeah. So it's no, but that's the great thing about this is it gets the kids excited, and even my older kids, they're all about it too. But yeah, that's trying to tuck them away every night, or trying to find a hiding spot, especially if you have those oh shit mornings where you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I forgot to do this, and then you're running down frantically, and you're just like kind of just throwing the damn thing into a tree just to say, okay, well, we checked that box for the day.
It was a rough night for the elf too. We left out the eggnog. It was the whole thing.
Yeah. So. But no, I mean, yeah. I figured I'd teed one up around this holiday season. For at least a grievance, and I guarantee you, and believe me, scroll through Facebook. There's just post after post after post of pairs that I think, much to everybody's chagrin every year, it's like, okay, we have to do this. So, but so that is the top of mind as I'm moving this evening.
I'm happy for you that as we record this, we are only about 11 days away from Christmas, so you only have about 10 more sleeps of having to move this guy around until he vacates the Van Vactor Adobe on Christmas Eve. Jeffrey Van Vactor, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out during this holiday season and coming on our Festivus special and airing out your grievance. Have yourself a Merry Christmas with that lovely wife of yours and those lovely kids down there in Indianapolis, and we will have you back on the Morgan podcast sometime very soon.
Love it, guys. Thank you very much, Kate. Thanks very much, Rod, and happy holidays to everybody.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right, our good friend Carrie Marie is here. She is a frequent contributor to the podcast. We've had her on a few times talking about a few different things. She's been on talking about Thanksgiving before. We've had her on the holiday episodes. So in that honor, I have an eggnog right now. But I did put a little Fireball cinnamon whiskey in this eggnog because things are about to get spicy. The Festivus poll's still over here in the corner. We are still airing grievances. The Mrs. Morgan, is here and listening. Carrie, the floor is yours.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy to be here. So this year, my grievance is how society is currently treating the wait staff. And I don't mean just at sit-down restaurants. I mean your fast food joints, the grocery, your Walmarts. I am so tired of hearing people complain and berate these poor people about how nobody wants to work and the lines are so long and they can't get into the dining room at the McDonald's. All along, the people who are actually showing up to work are hearing all of this. I just feel awful that those people have to hear again and again how awful everything is instead of just showing a little kindness. The people who showed up to work want to thank you, a genuine smile. I just feel it's really unfair how society is treating everyone right now.
You know what I think it is? This just popped into my head. It's almost like it's the new weather, right? When you're just standing around at a store with someone and you're waiting, you can just strike up a conversation about, yeah, can you believe nobody wants to work? Look at this line. This is ridiculous. You'd rather do that than the weather these days, and I'm with you, Carrie. It's a problem.
It is a problem, but what's funny is that one of my grievances in my blog this year are checkouts, and not the people working the checkouts necessarily, but just checkouts in general and how unbearable they are because they are all so long and so much. And it's not about people not wanting to work, because this was a problem prior to the pandemic, in my opinion. We're just like, hey, we have 17 lanes and we're going to open 2 of them. Like, and there are people everywhere. But I agree with you in that I don't think that anybody should ever be berated in their place of work, let alone by the customers who they're serving. I think that that's completely wrong.
I agree, and I just feel like we just need to show a little kindness to these people who did come to work that day. And yes, checkout lines were long, and yes, it's probably worse now. And I understand that checking yourself out through the self-checkout is not always fun or my job. However, if you look at these people who are working the cash register at the drive-through window, they're tired. And the answer, I don't know, but we're mad that people don't want to work for $7 an hour. We're mad that we're going to pay them $15 an hour because then the cost of our goods goes up. So I don't know what the answer is. I just feel like we can show these people, like, just a little grace. Like, just say thank you and take your food after waiting for 20 minutes at McDonald's and move on with your life.
Now, was there one particular incident, right? I'm certainly not looking for anybody's name here, but is there one particular incident that you can recall that sent you over the edge, or is this just the thing that you've been thinking about all year and you're like, I cannot wait until I get a chance, a platform to air this grievance?
So I've been noticing it, but yes, we were at the farmer's market a couple weekends ago, and the checkout lines were so long, and you just accept it. And I stood in line for a good 15 minutes, and they shut the line down behind me. So every so often, the bagger would come out and say, we're closed. The light was off. I was the last person in line. I am a tall woman wearing a red sweater. I am a very good indicator of we're going to stop with her. And this older couple came behind me and refused to accept that the line was closed. So much so that the bagger brought out a wet floor sign and put it behind me to indicate this was the end of the line. That woman moved the sign away, and I brought it back. At that point, after demanding a manager several times, the cashier came out, and she might have been 20 years old. She was tired, and she said, "Ma'am, I just want to go home and see my baby." As they continued to yell at her so that they could check them out. And if you looked around, all of the lines were so long. The only reason our line was short is because it was closed. And I did say a few things politely, but angrily, like, just leave these kids alone. Like, why is this such a big deal? And had to wait for an actual manager who was 23 years old to come out and escort this couple away to check them out somewhere. And that woman turned and she looked at me and she smirked. Like, this made them happy, berating small children who just want to go home to see their smaller children. For what? To get your milk and eggs? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I think that this is more indicative of something that you've been talking about for quite a while, which is that sense of entitlement. These people clearly felt entitled to be in the shorter line, to be the next ones there, and they were going to fight for it because, God damn it, they have earned it for some reason that other people in that same place haven't earned it, and it makes no sense.
Yep, and in the end, I just feel like we can have a little patience. What are we in such a rush for?
I was about to ask that very question. What was it that Karen and Mr. Karen had that they absolutely had to get checked out at the farmer's market that day?
Oddly enough, it was a lot of eggs. They had so many eggs, and I don't understand it. Well, if it was to make deviled eggs, which is something we've talked about in a different grievance, I'm for it, right? Like, I can understand that level of assertiveness over deviled eggs. But if it's not the deviled eggs, then you know what? No, lady, nobody needs that many eggs that badly. And to throw that big of a fit, like, she was a grown woman, like our age, older. These were our parents' age.
Wow.
Like, these were retired folks who had a cart full of eggs, and it wasn't even a holiday.
Advanced deviled eggs, maybe?
I love that if it's a holiday, it's okay for them to have a lot of eggs. That's my takeaway from that.
This is true. That's a good anecdote though for why this was just so bad and why you're noticing now that people are so unkind to staff at various establishments, not just at grocery stores, but at fast food places, at restaurants. People aren't serving bartenders or tipping bartenders. I've been noticing a lot too. I've been seeing a lot of posts about that, which is insane to me. How do you not tip a bartender during the holiday season? So yeah, I completely understand this. I'm grateful that you came on and shared this experience. I think it's important for us to look at things like this. Like, again, as I'm thinking about my blog post and one of my grievances being checkout lines and just being so pissed at like how ridiculous they are. I have to also think of that element of the struggle that the people who are actually still working there are going through. So thank you so much, Carrie, for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Merry Christmas to you and Evan and the boys. And we look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Oh my gosh, guys, thank you for having me. I love you so much. And the Morgan You Know world, all of my love and kindness to you as well.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
We are back. The Mrs. Morgan You Know and I have engaged in a round of feats of strength, and it actually came out to be a tie. So we decided we were just going to move past feats of strength, and we we're going to keep the shiny Festivus pole in the corner and a spirit that it brings. And Chris King, what do you have for us? What's your grievance this year?
Welcome, everyone. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. And Adam Silver, owners of NBA franchises, my grievances are with you. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. And specifically, I'm talking about the tanking epidemic, specifically in the NBA, is getting worse and worse and worse every single year. And what I don't realize, or I realize now that the NBA doesn't understand that they're alienating fans constantly of these teams. You want NBA isn't, if nothing else, an entertainment delivery system. And when you pay good money to go see these teams, you expect a great piece of entertainment. You want to see all the effort. You want to see competition. And more, you're getting teams giving their superstars nights off. You're getting teams that specifically are built to lose and not compete at all for the chance of a draft pick. It has become an epidemic. And it's the Rockets. It's the Spurs, unfortunately, this year. You have the Pistons, the Hornets, the Wizards, the Magic. These are teams that are actively trying not to win, and it is a service to competition in all professional sports, but specifically the NBA. And Adam Silver and you owners are in the perfect position to nip this in the bud. Get it through your skulls. The only way you're going to stop this is by threatening to take the NBA money baskets from these owners in regulation. Send some of these teams down to the G League. I don't think the Spurs could really compete all that much in the G League right now. That's essentially what they are. The Pistons, without Cade Cunningham on the court, they are nothing but a glorified G League team. Make relegation happen in the NBA. Let's shrink the top tier, make a larger second tier, and really push these teams to compete every year.
You were just still so chapped about that time you had tickets as a boy to see George Mikan, and he had to skip the game to work at his regular job as an insurance salesman because he made no money as a professional basketball player. I still can't believe you're holding Chris. You understand that your grievance here could have been about anything, right? You know this isn't an episode of Balls and Brew. You could have had a grievance about anything. I just want to make sure you knew that was clear.
Yeah, listen, this is something that has been eating away at my soul for a long time. And listen, I am pretty.
This is the thing. This is the thing that's been eating away at your soul. Really?
I've been lucky. Like two of my favorite professional teams, the Pacers and the Cowboys, rarely ever not try and compete. You don't see them tanking at all. The Pacers tried to, essentially, but they put together a competent team that competes nightly and will probably be in the playoff hunt coming into the year. And of course, the Cowboys always try to win. But if you're a fan of some of these teams, and the Cubs did it recently, and it just
Who?
yeah, exactly. You haven't even forgave them yet, essentially, for doing that, and it
How dare
ruins
you? How
the
dare you? You know that you're
fandom.
not supposed to bring them up on this podcast. Not only are you bringing up something you're not supposed to bring up on this podcast, but I feel like you're taking a shot at me because I'm actively rooting for the Colts to lose football games right now. Is that what you're doing? Are you trying to take a shot at me here on Festivus? Is this like a roundabout grievance that you have with me that you're doing through a character?
No, babe,
Listen.
no, focus on the disappointment. Focus on the disappointment.
Listen, you are part of the problem. You want your team to lose. That is the antithesis of sport and competition. You should never be actively rooting for your team to lose.
Okay, listen, I can't disagree with your premise there, and your grievance is well understood. I think you're kind of inventing a straw man here because we're literally have the most parity the NBA has ever seen actually going on right now as we speak about this grievance. But to an extent, you are right that there are teams that would rather lose to get a higher draft pick, and one of those teams should continue to be the Indianapolis Colts. But we'll talk about that on an episode of Balls and Brew. Chris, thank you so much for sharing your grievance with us on this Festivus episode. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Love you guys.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right, we are letting everyone air their grievances here on the special Christmas episode of the Morgan You Know podcast. The shiny Festivus poll is still beckoning in the corner. Josh Williams, you are here. What do you have for us?
Okay. Surprise, surprise. Mine's an NFL one because, I love the NFL. But my area of grievances is there's a lot of bad coaching out there, and I've got a lot of problems with you people. I'm looking at you, Dennis Allen, blowing a 16-3 lead with 5 minutes to go at Tampa Bay, getting way too conservative. I'm looking at you, Josh McDaniels, the very next primetime game. You tell Dennis Allen to hold your beer as you blow a 16-3 lead with 5 minutes to go again versus a QB who just got to his new team less than 48 hours before kickoff. Again, way, way too conservative. Shout out Baker Mayfield there. I'm looking at you, Todd Bowles, not using any of your 3 timeouts left a couple weeks back on a 4th and 10, went up by 7 from the 11-yard line against the Browns. You're supposed to be a defensive guru. Do you want to go over your coverages, make sure your guys know what's going on? No. I mean, I could go on and on with these grievances, with these bad coaching. We talk about it all the time here. Terrible coaching. What did Carolina do? They got rid of Matt Rule. They were 1-5 against the spread, worse than the league with him. What happens? They go with Steve Wilkes, the interim coach. He becomes he goes 6-1 against the spread, best in the league in that time span. So get the bad coaching out of the NFL. Us fans don't want it anymore. We're tired of it, and let's get some good coaching in here. That's my grievance.
Hoorah! Listen, good coaching in the NFL is something I can completely get on board with. I want a bit of a clarification here, Mr. Williams. Any of these games that you seem to have particular vitriol about, or any of these bad beats that you maybe had a bit of a play down on any one of these games? Is this a little bit of a this is sour grapes because these gentlemen may have cost you a couple of ducats, as they say?
There might have been a couple. There might have been a couple in there. Yeah. I've had enough of you people.
Yeah, exactly. Now, listen, there's no better grievance than when somebody costs you a little bit of money, right? I mean, there's no better grievance than that.
I agree with that, and I know nothing about what you guys are talking about, that I don't like my money being taken away. So yeah, agreed.
These are all bad NFL coaches, right? Like Frank Reich, bad coach for the Colts, got fired. These are all other gentlemen who are just bad NFL coaches.
Yeah, but if they're losing you money, I don't give a shit if they're good.
See, but I guess they lose the owner's money if they get fired, Mr. Williams, right? Is that why some of these guys probably stick around? Would that be your guess as to why a couple of these gentlemen have not been removed already?
Yeah, you don't see that many that get removed in season, and there could have been one this year with Hackett, but I think they didn't do that this year because this is his first year. But I think Hackett's definitely gone at the end of the year. And I'll tell you what, man, Josh McDaniels too, and the Raiders have been terrible this year, so. We'll see if he still has a job at the end of the year also.
Well, the Raiders seem to major in being terrible recently, so I don't know how much I'm going to hold that against Josh McDaniels. But you are our football handicapper. You bring a football grievance to the Festivus Christmas Spectacular, Mr. Williams. I appreciate you so much, and Merry Christmas to you, sir.
No problem. Merry Christmas to you guys.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right. The very producer of this podcast will now bring his grievance here to the Morgan Christmas Spectacular. And I worry, Jimmy Jamriska, my lovely producer, my friend, my longtime friend. You're not going to be bringing a grievance about anyone you work with here on this podcast, are you? You're not about to get dangerous on us here, are you?
No, I am not. But I have a lot of problems with a certain person right now. And that's James Gunn. Henry Cavill is Superman, will always be Superman. And he was taken away from, he was given back, taken away, given back, taken away. Made a little cameo. Oh, nope, taken away. James Gunn met with Henry Cavill and said, you know what? We know you are everything that the Man of Steel should be. But, you had one decent movie and then a lot of bad things. We're not going to give you another good movie. No, what we're going to do with Superman, we're going to try something new. We're going to focus on the earlier part of his life because, that's what people really love. Let's go with the high school Superman because we haven't seen that before. Okay? Now listen. It's very, very simple. You had the person who loved what he was doing. I understand that things happen in Hollywood. Maybe they didn't like each other. Of course, don't say that to James Gunn because he'll rip you on Twitter like he did to that one guy. But the guy was right because Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. All I wanted to do is see a nice Superman movie with Henry Cavill. That wasn't crazy. He didn't have to kill anybody in this next movie. That's fine. But no, taken away. James Gunn, got a lot of problems with you.
Superman. Jimmy, if you would have given me a bunch of guesses as to what you might bring for the grievance table, I don't think I would have went Superman. But I absolutely agree with you. I'm a big Henry Cavill guy. I enjoyed his work in the Mission Impossible franchise. Of course, always got to relate to Tom Cruise with me, staying on brand here on the Morgan podcast. But
no question.
That's a good one. I saw a blurb about this the other day, but I had no idea the understanding on the level you just brought to us, so I thank you.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to inform.
Mrs. Morgan, I know you've seen Henry Cavill as Superman in at least one appearance. Are you disappointed to see that he will no longer be Superman?
I am. He's fabulous. He is fabulous. He embodies Superman to me.
See, Jimmy, I think that you have validation here that this is a very valid grievance, my friend. I think maybe we should try to run this up the chain. Is there any way we can find somebody who we can get this to Mr. Gunn himself?
See, right now Twitter is a weird place, right?
Weird.
I really think this is the one thing in the past 3 months that everyone's agreed on, except for the guy who's making the decisions. Legitimately every single person, including Henry himself, is yeah, I'd love to play Superman, but apparently we're not doing it anymore. So
yeah, because I killed him off in Mission Impossible too. Just rough beat for my guy Henry.
Not a good year, but he'll come back. He'll
be just fine. Jimmy, thank you so much for airing your grievance here with us. Thank you so much for editing together this Christmas special that everyone is enjoying right now. And Merry Christmas to you and your family down there in the Greenwood area. We appreciate all you do for us.
Merry Christmas to you all, and remember, if you're ever on a podcast, wear headphones.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right, we are back to close out the grievances episode here on the Morgan podcast. I talked about him earlier. I defeated him in the feats of strength, but he is undaunted. He is back now to give his grievances to us. The poll is over in the corner. His mother is here with us. It is none other than the Vanimal, Van Morgan. Van, let everyone know your grievances.
Hello.
You want to just start listing them?
Yeah, I guess I'll just do that. So my number one would probably be people claiming that grape flavored things actually taste like grapes. That they actually taste like. They taste like nothing like it. They taste like the color purple. Purple.
All right, what else you got, Van?
Watermelon. Their entire existence.
Now, okay, is it just because you don't like the taste of watermelon or watermelon flavored things or the fruit itself? Which one?
I like watermelon flavored things. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the fruit itself. I don't like the jokes that people make about watermelon.
Lots of watermelon jokes going around.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
Cheese grater warnings. They're not that dangerous. They're not that dangerous.
Well, this one really surprised me because I wasn't aware that you were receiving so many warnings on a regular basis about the cheese grater. Where are you hearing about these warnings?
The funny thing is school.
What? They're talking about cheese graters in school at your wine and cheese school?
Oh, yeah.
Are they? How many times have you been asked to grate a block of cheese?
None.
Okay, so again, I don't understand why you have all of these excitable opinions about cheese graters.
I've only been told not to do it not a cheese grater warning once.
Okay,
but that was enough for you.
Yeah, that was enough for me. That was enough for me. I mean,
Okay. What else you got?
No, sorry. Glass vases.
Glass vases, guys.
They should be much easier to break.
You mean harder to break?
Well, harder.
It's okay, Vian. It's okay. You're listing off grievances. You're fired up.
And finally, vendettas. I do admit to the irony of this statement.
No, there was one that you didn't mention that I actually really do agree with of your list of grievances for the year.
Oh, yes! Abstract art! I hate it. It makes absolutely no sense, but shadow abstract art's pretty cool.
Yeah, like you're well-versed in that kind of art, but just not regular old-fashioned abstract art. No Picasso for you.
No.
No Picasso, okay.
Is there something about the art world in general that made you want to bust out that voice that you used there when you said you didn't like abstract art?
No abstract art.
I just wanted to have a British accent, I guess.
Well, there you go.
We all do.
All right, so there you have it. Watermelons, cheese grater warnings, people that claim grape flavor actually tastes like grape, abstract art, glass vases are too hard to break, and vendettas. Those are a 10 going on 11-year-olds grievances for the year of 2022. Vanimal, thank you so much.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right, so there you have it. A special treat from the Vanimal here. We have heard from numerous casts of characters across the Morgan You Know podcast network. We've heard from the Mrs. Morgan You Know. We've heard from Matt Roberts. We've heard from Jeff Van Vactor, Jimmy, Chris. All the luminaries that come on the podcast network have come on, so I can't stall any longer. It is now time for me to air my grievance of 2022. I have a lot of grievances that I'm able to air week to week in the sports world over on the Balls and Brew podcast, so I will not go to the sports world for my grievance, but I will go to the sports entertainment world. I have excised baseball out of my life. I have, over the last couple of years, really cooled on college sports and don't watch them as much as I used to, so I had an opening in my sports viewing calendar on the side of the NBA, and professional wrestling has rushed right back in there. I spend all of my time catching up on podcasts and reading things on Twitter and watching 3 hours of Raw on Monday night and SmackDown for 2 hours on Friday night. And then when we have premium live events on the weekends, I bought myself some wrestling t-shirts. I got all in. My grievance has to do with people that find this out, however. And then when they find out that I'm into professional wrestling, I always get the bit of a side-eye look. And then they respond back with, "You like professional wrestling?" Sort of with a question there at the end. And I don't understand what the judgment is about here, people, okay? There are nerds everywhere in the world, all right? The Marvel comic book franchise has ruined, yeah, I'm just going to say it, ruined movies for the past 15 years. Those dudes are nerds. Star Wars people are out there. Those dudes are nerds. All the true crime documentaries and podcasts that are out there, those things are supposed to be so much cooler than what I'm into with professional wrestling. I don't understand why professional wrestling has been able to be put into that box of smoking, right? When anyone was smoking, anyone could walk up to him and be like, "Don't you know how terrible smoking is for you? You shouldn't be smoking." Yeah, no, we get it. Leave me alone. Why do you think it's okay for you to judge my smoking? Wrestling falls into the same exact thing, right? I don't know how many people used to say, "Oh, you know wrestling's fake, right?" Yeah, no, we get that. But now that's not what it is. Everybody knows that we know it's fake, but they just don't understand why we are entertained by wrestling. And here's why we're entertained by wrestling. That's literally the only reason it exists. Every single thing that is done on a wrestling broadcast or during a wrestling show is designed to bring about entertainment. So yeah, I'll admit it. I like being entertained. I like male soap operas. I like being entertained. I like explosions. I like cool theme songs. I like people getting punched in the face. I like people getting kicked. I like people jumping off of top ropes. Professional wrestling is fun, and do me a favor, you mouth breathers out there that don't think wrestling is highbrow enough for people to be into, go jump off a ledge somewhere, all right? Wrestling's for me. You do whatever thing that you want to do. I'll like wrestling, and don't judge me for it. And I promise I will not judge you for whatever thing you're into.
Wow, that's a lot, babe. That's a lot. I mean, like, I don't think any of us, even Vanimal, ended his grievance by saying, jump off a ledge. So you've really taken it far there. What's funny about this grievance is that I see it happen to Rod quite a bit, but I would argue that when a lot of women find out that we went to a WWE event or that we're staying home to watch a WWE event, so many women have said to me, oh my gosh, really? I grew up watching wrestling with my brothers, and like, what about this person, and have you seen this? And they actually get kind of excited to talk about it. So per usual, women representing good things and men being the haters. So there you go on that. But seriously, guys, wrestling, it was something I was never into until Rod started watching it. I also think it's a lot of fun, and I don't think that we should be judging anybody over the thing that we decide to nerd out over. So you know what? For Rod and I, here we are, Envy Animal. We're going to stay in our house. We are not leaving the house. We are going to not eat watermelon. We are going to buy heavier glass vases that don't break as easily. We will not own abstract art, and we will watch our wrestling. So, Merry Christmas, all. Thank you for celebrating Festivus with us, and please be sure and read my Festivus blog, which is out now as well, and let us know what some of your grievances are this year.
Yeah, you got lots of different ways you can contact us there. Leave a comment underneath the Facebook. Hit us up on the Twitter there at the Morgan You Know. We got an Instagram page. And as Mrs. Morgan You Know stated there, we copied off of her. She's been doing the Festivus blog for years. This is her 5th year now doing the Festivus blog over at themorganyouKnow.com. Give people a little taste. What are the 5 categories of grievances they can see writing about over there?
So some of the things that I wrote about this year are checkouts. So all store checkouts. I also talked a little bit about the makers of women's concert apparel and how off-kilter that is. Children's mullets, and that's something that should be outlawed. I also talk about the lifespan of electronics and then just the woes of midlife in general.
Make sure you check those out over at themorganyouKnow.com. Make sure you continue listening and following along here on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this very show. We appreciate it. We are going to be back at you in the new year for sure. We got a couple of new tricks up our sleeve. Make sure you are on the lookout for that. This episode has come out after our picks. Our football picks from Josh Williams. You can find those a little bit further back in this feed. And I mentioned wrestling right there. Our awards for Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year, things of that nature are just a little further back in this very feed as well. So if you were intrigued by my wrestling take there, listen to Yeah, We Know in the Ring with me and Jimmy on this very feed. And thank you, most of all, for spending some time over your holiday break listening to the Morgan You Know podcast. Thank you for all the time during the year that you have spent listening to our various podcasts here on the network. Me and Chris and Jimmy and Williams and Kate, we all really appreciate it. Keep listening. Keep telling your friends. We're going to keep podcasting. I promise you. Happy New Year to all, and to all, a good night.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Yeah. Mine every year, and I had to stop writing about it, is a lot is one word. I'm like, it's 2 words. It's totally 2 words.
You're damn right it is. And that's
It is.
bullshit that people, I'm going to say a lot. No, it's not.
Oh, and then they just write it that way, like ignoring that is literally wrong, and there's a red squiggle, and the red squiggle is right on a lot because it's 2 words. Anyway.
Yeah, there's really no excuse. I'm glad we're recording this. There's no excuse. You're writing it in the thing. I can write any word in the world, and it's going to say, actually, no, it's spelled this way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Very simple. Just change it.
No, because people consistently think that they are better than the red squiggle when it comes to the words a lot. It is 2 words. It is not a choice. It's 2 words. A space lot. Done.
Unless you are allotting something to somebody, like they're
never fucking doing that though, Chris.
Yeah, who's allotting anything, Chris? Okay, we don't use those words that you used back in the day.
Yeah, don't be a contrarian on a lot and allotting. Okay,
Jesus,
they mean 2 totally
it's a
different
lot.
things.
A-L-L-O-T.
Oh my fucking lord!
And I think there's 2 T's in that one. So no, we're done.
I'm gonna go bury you in a lot. All right.
They'll put the peach baskets away, Chris. All right.
Listen, Old English is still correct.
No,
my God.
It's not. It's just not. All right, boys, you guys have a good show. Thanks so much for everything. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.